City of Stevens Point Special Common Council meeting, recorded April 18, 2023.
I have 6 o'clock. We'll call the reorganizational meeting of the Stevens Point Common Council to order. Clerk, could I get a roll call, please?
Christensen.
Here.
Shore.
Here.
Keemer.
Here.
Zarazua.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Plassance.
Here.
Kneebone.
Here.
Shuda.
Here.
Lang.
Here.
Fischler.
Here.
Morrow.
Here.
And that is everyone, so we can continue on. I do want to take this opportunity to welcome our 2 new alderpersons, Allison Burr in the 5th District and Sam Lang in the 9th District. Welcome aboard. Everybody has been duly sworn in, so everything is official. Because this is new to some, we'll go over the process. This is the reorganizational meeting. Every year we have it, assign alderpersons to various standing committees, and citizens and alderpersons to other boards and commissions that have vacancies. The lists were included in your packet, and then after we appoint those, we will seek nominations and elect by open ballot a council president. Council president gets paid slightly more than alderpersons. It's a small stipend, $5 or $10 a month or something like that. It's not much. It's like $500 a year, maybe, something like that. After that, we will then recess to each of 3 standing committees. So those standing committees can select a chair and a vice chair. That's the only thing on their agendas, and each one will go in order, selecting a chair, vice chair, and then when those 3 committees are done, public policy and general government, personnel, and finance, when those are done, we will reconvene the council to approve those actions of those committees. The Public Works Committee does not select a chair until the first Tuesday in May, and that's by state statute, so that's why that one's different. Are there any questions before we get started? Okay. Then the first thing up is mayoral appointments to various boards and commissions. Those were included in your packet. There was one correction pointed out by Alderperson Zarazua. Matt Disher is not a reappointment to the Parks Board. That is an error on the spreadsheet. He is filling the unexpired term of Sue Hall. If everybody's okay, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
So second.
Seconded by Shuda. Discussion. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Christensen.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Keemer.
Aye.
Zarazua.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Plassance.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Fischler.
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
And that is approved. Mayoral appointments of the common council members to standing committees. That was also included in your packet, page 19. By Shore?
Well, I actually have a proposed change, so
Okay.
do we do that
We
before
won't
or
be doing
after?
changes.
We do that when?
We will not be doing changes.
I have a question.
It is presented as it is before you. I make the recommendations, you approve or deny.
Oh, well,
Question?
Oh, my question was, if we had recommendations, when would that be a good time to bring them up to you?
2 weeks ago?
But we didn't get this
we only
until
got this on
recently.
Friday.
Well, I talked to most of you. There were a few that I wasn't able to reach in regards to committee assignments. I can take them under advisement, but tonight is yes or no.
my recollection is different. I remember that former Alder Jennings and I made a switch, and my recollection is that it happened here. I don't know when else
It may have.
Yeah.
The council is charged with either approving or denying my recommendations. I'm not going to make any changes tonight.
Well, but if we approve or deny, then we can make changes.
No, you can't.
Point of inquiry.
Sure.
Are we doing this as a whole, or is it we
Yes.
doing it by each one? Okay.
No, they're a whole.
Okay.
City Attorney, if you'd like to chime in, but I can tell you that appointments are recommended by the mayor, approved by council.
So, Mayor, one other just note here. So if I'm understanding this correctly, council doesn't see this paper until last week, but we're supposed to ask you before this comes out like by crystal ball, or like, exactly how might that happen?
There are several things here. Okay, I have been the first administrator to actually seek input from the council, and I reached out to, I believe, all of you. I just didn't get in touch with all of you. Mary Kneebone was one of those. We did get in touch at the last minute. Okay, you got your packet. You got your packet a few days ago. I received no phone calls.
But even if we received it a few days ago, it was my understanding we were supposed to talk to you before it came out.
If I contacted you before it came out, yes, that's when you could have told me.
Okay.
If I didn't,
I wasn't
if you,
contacted.
and I don't recall if you were one of the ones that I didn't reach.
We did
but
not speak, no.
You could have called me after you got your packet.
So I'm just trying to understand again, like, when is the best time to make changes to this appropriately?
Yeah.
Before your phone call, after your phone call, or before this comes out, or after this comes out?
Well, after it comes out, it's the easiest because then everybody's aware of it. I wasn't able to reach everybody.
Okay. It just seems interesting to me. Anyway.
A point of clarification.
Sure.
I'd received a phone call and was asked about historical preservation. That was the only thing I have no idea on any of the other committees at that point.
You reached out to me and told me what your interests were.
Right.
Right.
I mean, what makes this different from other issues is that these are our committee assignments.
Yes.
So one would think that with that approval discretion, with our say-so to sign off, that like, that other time, that we would be able to make any changes that, that swap out, right, that leave things adding up the way they need to.
Sure.
Right?
And there is past precedent for that?
I mean, that's what we did.
There's also past precedent for the mayor not talking to anybody. The recommendations are what you have before you. You approve or deny.
I have a point of clarification. Again, I'd like the city attorney to let us know whether they have to be dealt with in their entirety or may be considered individually. Is there anything that requires it to be dealt with in its entirety?
I don't think so. I think things could be taken individually. At least I can't off the top of my head think of anything that prohibits that. Actually, the reason I did walk up to the podium, though, was just with regards to Alder Short's comment about the changes that were made a few years back. That was the change to the selection of the chair for the different committees.
No.
That's not what you were thinking of?
No. I know what it was.
Oh.
It was my year to have one. It was recommended for me to be on personnel. Tori was recommended to be on finance. I preferred to be on finance. And that's the switch we made. I mean, the other thing about this entire presentation as a slate is that it includes nominations of chairs, which is a different decision as we just reviewed.
Right. It is a different decision.
Right, but they are identified in the same
The recommended chair was done that way. Safe space.
So what I meant is that previously the mayor would select the chairs. That was just part of this proceeding.
That's not what I was talking about.
And the
No,
ordinance was changed. It was somewhat recent that we changed it so that the committees themselves select their own chairs.
Right. No, I was referring, in that case, I happened to have been suggested as chair of that committee. But the change that we were making related to our preferences, and there was a swap of seats on the committees.
Alder Kamer.
Sure. So if the options tonight are to approve or to deny, if these committee assignments are denied, what would be the next step after that?
We vote for president and adjourn.
And there would be another meeting scheduled?
It'd have to be at some point.
Okay.
That doesn't mean anything will change.
Right. Would the city attorney advise the council on whether or not we're required to act on them in their entirety, or if this body chooses to deal with them individually, whether or not that's an option?
How about I read to you verbatim the language that is relevant to this? Which, I'll warn you, is silent as to what the answer to your exact question is. Following are the standing committees of the Common Council: Board of Public Works, Finance Committee, Public Policy and General Government Committee, and Personnel Committee. The appointments to such committees shall be made by the mayor at the organizational meeting in April for a term of 1 year, subject to confirmation by the Common Council, except where otherwise expressly provided by law. The chairs and vice chairs of the standing committees shall be elected by the members at the respective committee at the first committee meeting after the mayor's appointments are confirmed by the council, and such elections shall be effective upon confirmation by the Common Council.
So the Common Council's in charge of the confirmation procedure, and it would be then our decision whether or not to deal with it in its entirety or individually?
Well, I think the language, subject to confirmation by the Common Council, I guess, on its face is vague as to whether it would have to be addressed as a single vote for the entire slate of appointments or whether they could be addressed piecemeal. Absent any sort of other construction rules, I guess you could at least make an argument that the past practice at every other confirmation that I'm aware of has been for them to be done as a single slate on a single vote. Whether or not the past practice of that in that sense has any sort of legal controlling element is unclear off the top of my head. I'm not sure that that does have any sort of precedential impact.
But we do have past practice of changes being made at this meeting.
Bottom line is,
But it's a
by
matter
ordinance,
of,
you don't get to make changes.
As a matter of order, the chair
We can't make changes, but we can deny specific
Right,
individual,
but that
yes.
doesn't mean anything's going to change.
No, absolutely, I understand. Well,
Alderperson, I don't understand what the beef is, but I can tell you that a lot of thought and effort goes into selecting these. And it's not always what the alderpersons want. We try to accommodate that to the best of our ability, which is more than past administrations have done. I take into account the areas that I feel you will be best serving in and the workload
Right.
that's involved in each of these, because it's not just the standing committees.
No.
There's committees that alderpersons are assigned to outside the standing committees, and all of those require a fair amount of time and energy.
and I don't disagree with you in any way, shape, or manner that it's your right and responsibility to make those nominations. But then it moves to the confirmation process, and that becomes a council decision and not an executive decision. And therefore, I would think it'd be up to the council how they would want to proceed, whether to do it in its entirety or individually. That would be
I
a
don't
council
think there's
decision.
any issue of taking each committee in its entirety.
No.
I mean, each
No.
committee individually?
No, it would be an amendment, is what it would be.
No,
An amendment to
no,
what?
we would
An
look at
amendment
each
to-
nomination
no.
individually if we wanted to.
No, you don't
We
have that
could.
authority.
I think we do,
We wouldn't
I
need
defer to the city attorney.
We wouldn't
and
need
I
to.
would too.
We wouldn't need to.
because it is a council action, and the council would be able to choose how they
To
would want to
confirm or
proceed.
deny.
Each individual, it would be up to us whether we wanted to do it in its entirety or
Is
on
there
an
a
individual
reason we want to
basis.
do this?
Not in particular, but it's...
Then why are you
but
making a big deal out of
Because
it?
I think it is a council decision and not a mayoral decision.
Could you read that again, Logan, please?
Your role is the nomination,
Yes.
the confirmation.
No, appointment.
Ours is the confirmation.
One more time.
I will read the portion of it. The appointments to such committees shall be made by the mayor at the organizational meeting in April for a term of 1 year, subject to confirmation by the Common Council, except
Subject to
where otherwise
confirmation.
expressly
The appointment
Confirmation is
will be
ours.
made.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you get to make appointments.
No, we're not
You get to
making
confirm them.
appointments. We get to, and we can either we can either confirm as a whole, or we can confirm individually if we so chose,
Within the group?
within individuals, if we felt like
I
that.
don't believe you have
I
that
don't-
authority either. But I can tell you that at this point, none of the recommendations are going to change.
Right, I understand that. The nominations are,
So if you
and
deny them.
that is what you control.
If
So
you
we-
deny them, the vacancy will be there.
Right,
Yes.
It doesn't leave us much agency
Right.
in our own committee.
Is there one in
appointments.
particular you don't like?
Not in the least.
Then
It's
what's the
just,
point?
my point is, the council should be in charge of council proceedings,
But it's
not
not,
mayor.
because
The
the ordinance
confirmation
says
is,
that.
the ordinance
Confirmation
says.
is, but not appointment.
Exactly, and I'm only talking about confirmation. And if
No,
you
you're
wanna-
talking about denial.
No, whether or not to confirm on an individual
Are you
basis.
going to,
is
do you
a-
intend to deny any of these?
No.
Then I'll accept the motion.
So then I have no intent to deny any of them.
Okay.
And yet I wanna deal with them on an individual basis.
Then what is the issue, Alderperson?
That is then you're not listening.
I asked-
My issue, no, excuse me.
Yep.
My issue is that the council is in charge of council proceedings. The mayor's in charge of the nomination portion of the process. The confirmation, if the council decides to confirm on an individual basis, we can reserve that right. I'm not even saying we're going to.
So then,
But that's a group
Do
decision.
that.
So if we want to go on a one-by-one basis, that would be the council's,
all right, is that what you want to do?
I don't get to make that decision. That would be a council decision. I'm just saying that is an option.
If I could clarify what I was going to do, it is similar to the last time, except that it wasn't a one-for-one swap. I was going to, by my own choice, serve on one committee and give up my seat on the other as an amendment, as a specific change. In other words, I wasn't thinking of this idea of individual. I was thinking about using this as what we have, and because these are our committee assignments, any changes by mutual consent, where it's agreed between those affected, would be proposed as changes. I have
Understood.
one. I suspect I'm not going to, after this, I'm going to be the only one who has any suggestions.
Yeah, more flies with honey, right? I'm not going to be making any changes tonight. These are chosen for a reason.
And so if he wants to leave a committee, he doesn't have that option?
To
He
resign?
doesn't, if he doesn't
Sure.
want to be on one?
Sure. By statute, yeah, everyone has to serve on at least one.
Right.
So if you want to resign one, you can certainly do that after the appointment.
It's only when he's on.
Do you have to accept the appointment?
Well, you can't resign from something you're not appointed to, can you?
That's right. So that's what I'm saying. Do you,
Our only option clearly
Is there a point to this
accept or
one?
reject.
In the history of history, we've never had an alderperson turn down an appointment.
but is it an option?
Yes, it is an option. I don't see anything in the ordinances that would say otherwise. Anything else?
This
Alderperson
is something
Lang.
beyond, I was just wondering, because I'm kind of new here, does anybody see anything that's an apparent scheduling conflict between the board and the standing committees? Is there an overlap on regularly scheduled, like that, nothing ever?
Standing committees meet the second Monday of every month at 6 o'clock. Generally, the entire council is present because they all sit on the committees.
Okay.
None of the boards
The
or
only one that's
commissions.
slightly different, transportation meets at 4:45 on Monday, but that meeting usually doesn't last more than about 40 minutes, so there's usually time. And it's easier to zoom that one in, so there's time to get to this one. But that's the only one that's different, is that transportation is kind of an odd one.
Okay. Seem to be getting off on a smashing foot.
Make a motion to approve the committees as presented.
Thank
And
you.
I'll
Is there a
second.
Seconded by Christensen. Discussion. Hearing none, can we get a roll call, please?
Morrow.
Aye.
Fischler.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Nebone.
Aye.
Plassance. Burr.
Aye.
Zarazua.
Aye.
Keimer.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Christensen.
Sure.
Lots of respect for the body. All right, at this point, item number 4 is nominations and election of the council president. This is done solely by the council. The only way I would get to vote is in the event of a tie, and that's not going to happen. No, I'm telling you right now that I will not vote.
So all 11, either all 11 of us have to vote, or not,
You
or not,
could-
or not,
You could
or
turn
9
down
of
the
us,
position if you were nominated.
or 9 of us could vote.
All right, we've had enough fun. I will now open nominations for the election of, or the position of council president. Alder Kiemer.
I will nominate Alder Christensen as president.
Alder Christensen. Nominations are still open.
I will nominate Alderman Mayoral.
Morrow. Nominations are still open.
I'll nominate Mary Nebel.
Mary Nebo.
May I respectfully decline?
Sure can. We want to talk about it for 20 minutes? It is an option.
No, I would rather not serve in that capacity should I be elected.
Okay, Alder Nebone is choosing to not
I
accept the
appreciate
nomination. And I apologize, I should have asked. Alder Christensen, are you going to accept that nomination?
Sure.
Alder Morrow, are you going to accept that nomination?
Yes.
All right. We're covered? No more questions about that? Nominations are still open. Nominations are still open. And nominations are still open. After reading it the third time and hearing no more nominations, I hereby declare nominations closed, and we will go to a ballot vote. Your ballots are not secret. You need your name on it and who you're voting for. The clerk is going to be handing those out. They're pretty self-explanatory. If you do have questions, though, let us know. If nothing else, this is going
We
to go into
actually
the
have
blooper reel
printed ones.
of
We used
council
to just
meetings.
have scraps of paper.
Everybody should have a pen and a piece of paper.
We used to have a hat. Used to pass the hat around.
We could use Todd's hat. You throw your name in the hat, right? No, we
Used
throw
to
your
have
hat in the ring.
I had a
We don't have a
snore.
ring.
Can we burn the
We have a
ballots
hat, but we don't
after?
have a ring. Everybody's votes are in.
Snowflakes are probably pretty appropriate.
McKenna will read the votes. The city clerk will tally the votes and give us an official result. There you go.
Christensen and Morrow. You want to read or you want me to?
I can read. So I just need to tell you who the vote's for, not who
Yes,
voted for?
yep.
Okay, Christensen. Christensen. Wait, yeah, I'm reading correct. Morrow. Christensen. 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 Morrow. Christensen. Christensen. Christensen.
I think that answers it.
Congratulations.
Are you going to accept? Because it is within your right to deny it and turn it down.
You should have done that.
Double dog dare you.
I will accept. Thank you.
Congratulations, Alderperson Christensen. Hopefully, our relationship will be a little bit better going forward.
It's always been fine.
President Christensen.
Yeah.
President Christensen.
All right, so at this point, we are going to recess the Common Council, and we will hold special public policy and general government, special personnel, and special finance committee meetings to select the chairs and vice chairs. The clerk will be calling those to order and calling for nominations. After those three are done, we will reconvene to approve those actions. We will reconvene the Common Council at 6:36. Does anybody need the minutes of the last three meetings read?
Please, no.
Please don't.
Thank you. All right, in that case, we will then accept a motion to approve the minutes and actions of the Special Public Policy General Government Committee, Special Personnel Committee, and Special Finance Committee meetings that were just held.
So moved.
A second.
Okay, Christensen and Fischler, sorry.
I don't know, she might have been
look alike.
first.
Not my hair shorter.
No, I just completely mess that up all the time. I don't know why. Discussion on any of those committee meetings? Sure hope not. All right, if you're in favor, vote yes. Opposed, no, and the clerk will call the roll.
Morrow.
Aye.
Fischler.
Aye.
Lang.
Aye.
Shuda.
Aye.
Kneebone.
Aye.
Plassance.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Zerazua.
Aye.
Keimer.
Aye.
Shore.
Aye.
Christensen.
Aye.
And that is approved, and we are adjourned at 6:37.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.